What is up, everybody? So, I've seen this challenge going around. It's top 10 first appearances in your collection, and I don't think anybody's tagged me in it, or at least nobody's messaged me and said, hey, I tagged you. So I don't know if anybody's tagged me in it, but probably not. But you don't have, like, from what I've heard, you don't have to wait to be tagged. I mean, this is YouTube. You don't have to, you can do whatever you want. You can jump the gun, not wait for people to tag you and stuff. So this is my top 10 first appearances in my collection. A little hint to some of them that are in there. There's a few books missing off the thing. So let's get into this. I'm making this before I go to work, so I want to make sure I get it, edited and uploaded and everything before I leave. So let's get into it. The video shouldn't be too long. I don't have a ton of key first appearances. I used to, and there's some that's going to come throughout the year that I'm working on. But these are the ones I have in my collection right now, and they're still pretty good. I would say. I mean, it's there's no first appearance of Miles Morales or anything in there, but there's some good books in here that definitely have some value. And you know what? It's basically what you value in your collection, not really what the world in general values. If you're happy with what you have, that's the way to be. And you can always get more, So just keep pushing and keep doing your thing. So let's get into mine. No particular order. These are not 10 to 9. I'm not doing all that. I just got this last month. I think it was last month. It might have been this month. I think it might have been at the beginning of this month. I bought this, got it right back in my collection because I had it before. This copy is better than the copy I had, and I believe this copy is the last copy was a direct, and then this is a newsstand. So I think I did better on having this one than the old one I had in my collection, which is probably like an 8. This is definitely better than an 8. This is really nice. This is ASM 361, first full Carnage appearance, Volume 1, 1992, newsstand, good stuff. Debating, because Bagley's going to be at Heroes Con, debating getting this one signed. Let me know in the comments if there's a reprint for this available, because if there is, Bagley might be signing this one. If not, I've got another great book that he can sign. But yeah, ASM 361, really nice copy. I'm super happy to have this back in my collection, and to know that I probably shouldn't let it go this time, and should probably just keep it in my collection. Next is another book that I just picked out. Shout out to John Big Daddy Ross. He's been in chats. He's definitely, he's been selling books for years. But you can find him on Instagram under Big Daddy Comics. He's always in people's chats. Great community member. Incredible. I really wish he would do a channel and show what books he has or whatever. So you know what? That's going to be one of my tags. John Big Daddy Ross. I'll make one video just for this, because I'd love to see what's actually in your PC collection. This is a newsstand copy of 238, one of my favorite villains, Hobgoblin, JRJR cover, and a JR cover, a John Romita cover. They worked on this together. Still has the tattoos, newsstand copy, really nice VF copy, came in a Mylar. I would definitely recommend hitting him up if you guys are looking for books, because he's a really great community member. He really, really is. I can't say enough about him. I'm going to show it again. Oh, look at that glare. Okay, but there you go. I mean, Mylar still does look great without the glare. Wish I could afford them. I do the whole thing in Mylar, but maybe a little bits over time, but they're hard to even find now, getting Mylar, and it's really expensive. So wish I would have jumped on it years ago. So that's probably one of my biggest in my collection so far. Of course, this is going to be in here. This is the first appearance. No, it's not from a previews. No, it's not from a toy. No, this is the first appearance. Spawn #1. This is just a direct copy. It's a really nice copy. It's got a couple ticks on it, But you know what? It's great. Still for me, if I ever wanted to upgrade, I probably would or could. Maybe if I was ever to get this signed, I'd upgrade it and get a better copy to get it signed, or I'd just buy a better copy and then use this as a reader. This is a couple spine ticks for a reader is incredible. But yeah, I love the colors on that green. That green pops so hard on this book. I absolutely. I mean, what can I say? Todd McFarlane, Spawn. When I was a kid, huge. Spawn was everywhere. The movie came out. Everybody loved it because, well, I mean, we loved it because there was actual consequences. You weren't fighting villains all the time. You were trying to destroy them. You know, all that good stuff. Yeah, I love this cover. This is like, it's really one of my favorite Todd covers. I mean, I know he's been doing great stuff since with variants, and I know he's done great stuff before, but this is just really incredible. And it's not super expensive. That's a good key book to get in your collection. That's not going to cost you. If you want to get a reader's copy, it costs you very inexpensively. I would suggest getting it in your collection, especially if you're a huge Spawn fan. It's totally doable, and that's something that I love, that you don't have to, break the bank. Next is a book that I picked up last year. I think it was last year. I saw this on eBay from a seller that I use all the time. I trust him because he works for Overstreet. So as far as grading goes, I know it's going to be all right, if not right on, but it's going to be close. This is Avengers number 28. It's not just the first appearance of Goliath, or Giant Man as Goliath, but it's also the first appearance of the Collector, which, if you are a comic book collector, that should be, he's a character you should definitely, and a little spec here too, because he's been in one movie. Benicio del Toro did a great job of playing this character, and he might be in future stuff, so there's a tiny bit of spec to it, but I'm not a specker. You guys know that I don't spec, but I've been told every time I show this book, oh, a little spec. So there you go, little spec. I just wanted the first appearance of the Collector. It's a 12-cent book. It's old Avengers, under 100, and it was definitely affordable, so I jumped on it. And I mean, look at that purple. The purple just pops. I mean, like, the book's got some wear to it, but it's a whole book. I mean, it's the staples aren't popped. It's really nice. It could be brighter white. I could probably get it pressed and cleaned, and it would be even better. But I mean, if I'm not getting it graded, I wouldn't definitely experiment on cleaning with this book, but I would definitely probably get something done to it. Next up is another book. Oh, I do have two books in Mylar, because this is in a Mylar too. Probably my favorite X-Men character. Probably, it kind of changes on not like a daily, but definitely one of my favorite X-Men characters, if not my favorite. Rogue, first appearance, king size annual number 10, Avengers. One of the most, it's a newsstand copy. Bought this years ago off of eBay, years ago, and it came in a Mylar. I think the grading was spot on with what the dude graded it. If anything, he might have undergraded it. That's not on the book. That's on the Mylar. That's just like a label was on it, and he just tore it off. But that is not on the book. I have taken it out, and I have read this book. And one of the most lackluster first appearance covers you can probably get. Nobody likes all the panels and stuff like that. I think it's all right. I mean, it's got a lot of action. It's got a lot of suspense. It's got a bunch of characters on it. First appearance of Rogue. I'm really glad I jumped on this when I did, many moons ago. The guy has it graded at an 8, is what he said. And back when I bought it, he's got a nice little label here on the back. It says 2014 Overstreet price was $33 for a book of this grade. I paid $3 less than that. Might have had to pay shipping too, but back then shipping was like $5. So definitely glad to have this in my collection. Rogue is, if not, but one of my favorite X-Men characters. Gambit's up there too. I need to get Gambit's first appearance. But I have goals this year, and I'm going to stick to them. But I need to get it because he's one of my favorites too. So if you can dig that, Monami, Next, the only Batman book I have in my collection, and it's the biggest Batman first appearance key because those are pricey. But I got this years ago for, yes, this is the price I bought this for. I think I bought this at a Second and Charles, I believe. Yeah, because of the tag and everything on it. And it is on the bag. It's not on the book itself. This is Batman 457. First, Tim Drake as Robin. I think this might be first Tim Drake. If not, I believe it's the other book, which you know what? I'll just pull it out just in case, but give you a glance at this because look at that price tag. Can you see it? Is the glare gonna get it? Price says $2. Paid $2 for this book, and it's at least a VF copy, if not VF plus. Staples are all intact. They're not rusted. It's a really nice copy. I will show you the other one because I think that is the actual first appearance. So bear with me for a second because I was not prepared. Because of course, it's Tylox who's not prepared. I think this is the first appearance of Tim Drake, so I think I was wrong. 442. George Perez cover. Rest in peace, George Perez. I think this is a newsstand as well. So that covers that just in case this is the first appearance, because I can't remember offhand if it is or not. Then I've got both bases covered. I don't remember how much I paid for this. I think I bought this at my shop, but I think it was like $10 or something like that. And I you know, I couldn't pass it up. I was like, you know, it's a Batman. I was just getting into Batman. It was a first appearance. It was cheap. It was there. It was a nice copy. Grab it. You know, just don't even think about it. Just grab it. Next, we got another 12 center. This book has shot up in value here lately, and I would have never, and it was because of the Eternals movie, I believe. This is the Mighty Thor 134. The People Breeders. This is the first appearance of the High Evolutionary. Classic cover is this. Let me look at his fingers. It's Kirby cover. I had to look at the fingers to tell because you can totally tell from the fingers. It's a Kirby cover. It's decent copy. There's a little browning over here. I don't know if that looks like a stain or looks like a fire or something like that. It's got some spine ticks on it, but all in all, this book is not that bad of a copy. And I can't remember how much I paid for it. I think I bought this out of the case at my LCS years ago for $50. Between 30 and 50, I know, because I haggle and I can't remember exactly what he wanted for it or what I paid for it. But since I was always there getting my pull there, and since I'd already bought key books from him before out of the case, you know, he flat out, you know, would always just tell me, I get your money all the time anyway. I can cut you a little bit of a deal. Incredible. Shout out to Richard's Comics and Collectibles in Greenville, South Carolina. I would 100% still have him as my local if it wasn't an hour away. Because incredible staff. Richard's an incredible guy. If you're in Greenville, South Carolina for any reason and you want to go shopping, I would suggest hitting there first. Little small shop feel, because it is a small shop. But the people there are great, and he doesn't mind wheeling and dealing, especially if you're spending money. So, yeah, I couldn't, and the way the shop's organized, it's great. He always has cool stuff in there. So, shout out to him for this book. I'm glad I got it years ago, because if I wouldn't have, getting it now would have cost me out the yin yang. Let's get into some X books since I showed the first appearance of Rogue. We're going to do the last 3 are X books. So that tells you I have tons of Uncanny X-Men. I worked hard on that years ago because I'm a huge X-Men fan. I love the Uncanny X-Men. The Uncanny X-Men. The other stuff's alright too. This is a newsstand copy, Dave Cockrum cover. This is 164, first appearance of Binary. Amazing cover. Oh my god, this is just so good. Got my least favorite. Rogue is, Storm is awesome. Nightcrawler is awesome. Colossus is awesome. I love this cover. It's great. I mean, look at that. Like, I mean, it's Dave Cockrum. Come on, Dave Cockrum. You gotta give some love to the man who basically helped save the X-Men with his art. Him and Chris Claremont's writing, and John Byrne as well. John Byrne started that train rolling of really bringing back X-Men, and then Dave Cochran, when he left, took over. So you can't deny that Dave Cochran does great work, and he did help save that franchise, because they were about to cancel X-Men because they figured, I mean, that nobody was buying it. And so shout out to those three for helping to keep that alive, because we wouldn't have it any other way. Next is another book that I think I recently, I bagged and boarded this recently because it used to have the price tag on it. I also paid $2 for this as well. Not saying that to brag, just telling you what I ran across. Sometimes you run across stuff that's super cheap that years down the road it ends up becoming worth more, but it's not a huge book. First appearance of Bishop. It's $282. I do have 281 and 283 just in case they, want to be like, oh, it's not technically. Really, really nice copy of this book. And as soon as I seen it, I knew it was first appearance of Bishop. Seen the price tag on it, made sure there was no sticker on the book itself, because that seems to happen a lot at like the secondhand stores. But it didn't have it on there. I really love this cover too. I mean, look at that. It's just great. Look at the pinks and or reds or pinks, or it's red. But look at the reds. I love that. This cover's incredible. Great first appearance to have in your collection, and not really that expensive. I think this book still goes for like, you could probably find this book for maybe $20. I'm assuming. I mean, I don't. Is Bishop getting really, really hot? Who knows? Who cares? It's just a great book to have in your collection. It's not super expensive. It'd be something to look out for. Definitely, if you are a big X-Men fan, as I believe a lot of us are. Last one, another one. Who does this? Who did this? Is this John Romita? I think this is John Romita. I don't know why I'm thinking that, because I can see the signature, but I don't know if that's him. It does say JR second. So I'm thinking it's John Romita Jr. This is X-Men 191. First appearance of Nimrod. This book started shooting up last year a little bit because there's, like I said, there's spec attached to some books sometimes that, Nimrod's going to be used in the upcoming, because they've done a lot of villains, but they haven't done Nimrod. He's definitely a formidable opponent. So I went ahead and grabbed this while it was $10. I jumped on eBay, found one for $10, just bought it just so before it got to where I couldn't afford it, because this is a good book to have in your collection if you're an X-Men fan. Everybody remembers Nimrod from the cartoons, definitely if you're my age. If not that, he was definitely a dedicated villain back in the day. So yeah, this is the last one. Would definitely recommend looking for this. Like I said, these are basically a lot of cheap books that are keys that you can still get for relatively cheap. You don't have to break your bank to get these books. You can plan stuff like that out, and I would 100%, if you can get stuff like this and go ahead and knock it out of the way and have it in your collection, you will be happy to have it there. You will be happy you bought it at the price that you did, especially if it starts to go up. But that's it. That is my top 10 of first appearances in my collection that I know of. There are sometimes books that are first appearances that I might not even know are first appearances, just because I don't know that they're first appearances, even though I do use CLZ. It really doesn't tell you unless you click on the book that it's the first appearance of such and such. But as far as the biggest ones, I think those are it. I could be wrong. I don't have an ASM4 First Silk anymore. I used it to fund other books in my collections. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it as far as the big key first appearances in my collection. They mean a lot to me. They might not be extremely, expensive, but they mean a lot to me, and that's pretty much all that matters, is that the book means a lot to you. So that's my first appearances challenge. Now I have to tag 3 people. I don't remember who hasn't been tagged. So I'm going to go with 3 people, and like I said, I don't remember who all has been tagged and who's been not, and I'm trying to watch all these videos, but God, we're all putting out videos so much, you can only remember to go back so far and watch all these videos, but I really, really try. So we're going to shout out 3 people. We will do, I will do TM Nerdy, my Canadian bro. We will do Uncanny. Well, no, because Swag doesn't have a YouTube channel, so I can't do that. You know what? Swag, I'm going to tag you. If you only make one video, I hope it's this one. So I'm going to do Swag, and I'm going to do Dave Collects. Yeah. We'll do Dave Collects. I'd like to see what he's got as far as first appearance wise, and I don't think he's been tagged in this yet. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you enjoyed the books that I showed. There's another one right behind my head that I could have showed, but I didn't want to just do all Spider-Man because that's what I'm working on this year. So hope you guys have a great Memorial Day. Be safe, grilling out, doing whatever it is you're doing today. Be safe, be careful. I got to go to work, but you know what? Exactly, because Heroes Con, baby. Can't wait to see everybody there who's going to be there. Peace.